In the famous gospel passage, after Peter identifies his teacher as Messiah, Yeshua tells his disciple that he will be given the keys to the kingdom of heaven. I will give you keys to the kingdom of heaven, and whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. That's Matthew 16:19 in NIV. I'm reading a very popular English translation of the Bible. Anyone who reads this immediately sees that this is an amazing honor and no small gift. Someone may hand us keys from a new car or even a house. Not very common, but keys from heaven? That is an astounding reward. Having those keys, Peter would have the ability to bind, forbid, and loose, permit, things on earth in accordance with how those things stand in heaven as well. The outcome of having such keys is extraordinary, and that's easy to focus on in this verse. But that assumes we understand what the keys he is handed actually do. Behind the Judeo-Greek text that calls these keys kleidas is a Hebrew concept of maftechot, malchut, hashamaim. It translates as the keys of the kingdom of heaven. Nothing extraordinary here, but I will have to set the kingdom of heaven aside for a moment because it's a topic of its own and just focus on the keys. You see, in the modern world, we tend to see keys being tied to the functions of locks. We treat locks and keys as a set. Yet in the ancient Jewish thinking, locks do the locking and keys do the unlocking. They are functionally distinct and not always connected. This idea can be easily seen in the Hebrew word for key, maftechot. Now, in ancient Hebrew, petach is an opening, and peticha often means an introduction or foreword, which is also an opening to something that follows. Now, both words come from the verb petach, and what happens is the letter mem is then added to the root, and it turns the word into an instrument of sorts, and therefore maftech is a tool that opens, or a key. Now, in contrast, the verb to close in biblical Hebrew is sagar, and to lock or to fasten is na'al. It's not hard to see or even hear that neither one of these terms are related to the idea of key or opening in Hebrew at all. They're unrelated because the primary purpose of a key, maftech, is not to lock, but to open, liftoach. Now, Apostle Peter, as the natural leader among the disciples, was given the keys to the locks that were already there long before his day. And that means that his job was not to keep people out, but to let them in. Remember, locks keep you out, and keys let you in. The next sentence about binding and loosing or forbidding and permitting is related to the keys, but not directly. Keys are meant to allow access. And that was the amazing honor that Peter was entrusted with. His confession that Jesus was the anointed one, Mashiach, meant that he had the tools to help people enter malchut hashamaim, the kingdom.